We all think we know Las Vegas, right? The lights, the casinos, the whole spectacle. But what if I told you there's another city, a hidden world, that exists right underneath the famous Las Vegas Strip? Today, we're going to peel back the fantasy and look at a reality that's the total opposite of the dream being sold just a few feet above.
So, picture this. Right under the feet of millions of tourists, there's this hidden city, a place of constant, unending darkness, where a whole community of people have built a life, completely unseen and honestly mostly unknown.
And the scale of this place? It's staggering. We are talking about a secret network of storm tunnels that winds its way for about 200 miles beneath the city. It's this massive, sprawling labyrinth.
Now, living inside this 200-mile network, estimates put the number at around 1,500 people. They're often called the Mole People, a population that has found shelter and a whole different kind of existence in the storm drains of Sin City.
This quote from one of the residents, wow, it just captures the devastating human cost, you know? The nonstop darkness isn't just a physical thing. It actually changes people. It kind of erases them from the world above.
So you have to wonder, what is life actually like down there? How in the world do you survive in an environment that harsh? Well, that brings us right to our first section, the constant dangers of tunnel life, starting with nature itself. This chart just lays out the contrast perfectly, doesn't it? The world tourists see is all about safety and nonstop fun. But just a few feet below, the residents of the tunnels are in a daily fight against both nature and other people.
See, these tunnels, they were built for one reason and one reason only, to drain rainwater away from the city. So when it rains, and we're talking even from a storm 15 miles away up in the mountains, a wall of water can come roaring through these tunnels in minutes. It turns a home into a death trap with almost zero warning.
And this isn't some abstract threat. This quote from Rob, who lived down there for 5 years, makes it tragically personal. People lose their friends, they lose everything they own, and they lose their lives to the very system that's supposed to be giving them shelter.
Okay, so beyond the flash floods, there's the constant danger from other people. Down in the tunnels, police radios don't work, there's no one to call for help, no one to see what's happening. It basically creates a lawless world where anything goes.
And the stories from the residents are just brutal. I mean, these aren't made-up scenarios. This is what they've lived through. Imagine being attacked with a machete where you sleep, or hit with a 2x4 over something as simple as a bicycle. Some have even witnessed murder. Violence is a constant, terrifying part of life.
This quote, it just sums up that feeling of being completely and utterly vulnerable. It's a chilling idea that down here, you're seen as disposable, that you're so far outside of society that your life just doesn't have any value to the world above.
So we've seen the dangers, but what about the people? You know, how do they manage to build a life in all this darkness and chaos? Let's dive into some of their stories.
This is Tony. He's lived down here for 6 years, and his story shows that it's not always a total war zone. There have been times when there was a real sense of community, people looking out for each other. But that social fabric is incredibly fragile, and like he says, it's been torn apart by bullies who prey on the weak.
Surviving down here requires some incredible resourcefulness. I mean, people learn to navigate the pitch-black tunnels just from memory, by touching the walls. They figure out how to cook meals using hand sanitizer as fuel. Some go treasure hunting, finding expensive stuff that tourists got drunk and left behind. And bicycles, they're not for fun. They're essential, like a car in the world above.
This quote really gets at the immense psychological damage. Even after years, the total darkness is this oppressive force. It's not just that there's no light. It's like a presence that triggers a really primal fear. When a resident named Jay gets asked about his future, his answer is just bleak, dead. But then he says something that connects his really extreme situation to an anxiety a lot of us can understand, that financial security is so fragile, and for so many people, being homeless is just a couple of bad breaks away.
And that leads us to the biggest question of all, right? Why don't people just leave? Well, the answer is complicated. This place isn't just a physical space. It's a whole system of traps that makes escape feel almost impossible.
Let's just break down this vicious cycle. It often starts with something simple, like losing your ID. But without an ID, you can't apply for a job. No job, you can't rent a place to live. Pretty soon, you're a ghost in the system. You can't access the basic things you need to get back into society. You literally don't exist on paper.
But here's a really important counterpoint.
One expert explains that even if you could magically hand out an ID to everyone down there, the problem wouldn't be solved. The traps go much deeper than paperwork. They're rooted in trauma, in mental health issues, in addiction, scars that an ID card just can't heal. This story, it just shows you how deep that trauma goes. When you can watch something as horrific as a sword fight and feel absolutely nothing, that's not being tough, that's being traumatized. You become numb to horror as a way to psychologically survive.
So let's bring this all back to where we started, that ultimate contrast, that massive gap between the two worlds of Las Vegas that exist, literally, one on top of the other.
This slide really says it all, doesn't it? The economic difference is just insane. Above ground, Nevada's casinos are pulling in over $15 billion a year. Below ground, a person's entire income might be whatever they can find in the trash.
Beverly, a woman who lives in the tunnels, offers this incredibly profound insight. The glamour of Vegas is just a facade. It's like wallpaper just made to look good. And it's all built on one simple truth. For the house to win, the players have to lose. The tunnels are where some of those who've lost everything end up.
So we're left with this final, pretty unsettling question. And it's a question not just about Las Vegas, but about our own cities and about the realities we choose to see and the ones we choose to ignore, right beneath our feet.
If you like this video, please subscribe our channel.